Be tried under the new federal law against identity theft will learn his sentence today. Waverly Burns pleaded guilty to stealing another person's identity in Madison, Wisconsin. Now, the law is less than a year old, and it makes it illegal to use another person's identification with intent to commit a crime. You might be surprised at what a big business stealing identities can be and how easily and successfully somebody can steal your identity. Some law enforcement officers call identity theft, quote, the fastest growing crime across the country right now. And I'm joined by a guest who knows something about this and how easy it is for somebody to gain access to your personal information and steal your property. Mari Frank is the author of From Victim to Victor, a step-by-step guide for ending the nightmare of identity theft. She joins us live in Anaheim, California. And I know what you're talking, Mari, about because I've had it happen to me. It happens to a lot of us, doesn't it?
It sure does. In fact, when I was on 48 Hours, Harold Dow had been a victim when CBS hired a cleaning crew. They turned out to be a fraud ring and dumpster dived under the desks of all of the top correspondents, took the identities of 30 of the top correspondents at CBS. So it can happen to anyone. It happened to me too.
You know, it was a cleaning ring that went in at night into the mortgage company where I had applied for a mortgage. And they had everything about my life in that mortgage application. They opened bank accounts. They had checks printed with my name on them, obviously a different address. They had a dozen credit cards, 100,000 bucks worth of bills. It was truly amazing. Now, you have some tips that can help people, and here are 3 of them. Get your 3 credit reports from those 3 major credit report agencies at least twice a year. Number 2, shred all of your confidential and personal information both on computer and hard copies. And 3, don't divulge your Social Security number unless you absolutely have to. Let's talk about the first one there. 3 credit agencies. What are they? TRW?
Well, TRW is now Experian, and there's TransUnion and Equifax. And they have 800 toll-free numbers. You can find them at my website at identitytheft.org. And they should be in your yellow pages as well. You should order those credit reports at least 3 times a year, and the most that they can charge you under federal law is $8 a piece, and it's worth it because if the fraud occurs, you're going to notice it first on your credit report. In fact, last year, the United States Public Interest Research Group found that 70% of all credit reports had errors, and 29% of those errors were enough to keep you from getting any credit.
Yeah,
so
and I have
really
a secret
important
password now with all 3 of those companies so that if they get any new information in, they'll call me up on the telephone at my home number to double check that it's in fact me applying for a credit card. How about this one? Shred all of your confidential and personal information. What kind of stuff?
Well, everything from your bank statements to your credit card statements, even things like, you know, let's see, you know, your your receipts that you get when you go to the grocery store, anything like that, your utility bills. Someone can gain a lot of information about you, as well as even if you write letters with confidential information, that should all be shredded. You should have a shredder right next to your desk, at home and at work.
Yeah. Tell us about some of the sort of anecdotal horror stories that you've come across.
Okay. Well, I can tell you what happened to Waverly when Waverly Burns took this, the one who's going to be sentenced today. He had taken the identity of someone who had 10 years ago, and what he had gotten a home, he had gotten credit cards, and he had gotten all sorts of identification, and then he was sentenced because he went into the Supreme Court of Wisconsin's offices and stole computers, and he was found on surveillance. When they arrested him, they found that that wasn't really him, so that's why he was convicted. But he had destroyed the life of that victim. And also, like you were talking, what happened to you, Greg, it happened to me as well. A woman who I didn't know had stolen my identity, parading as an attorney 4 hours from my home. She got over $50,000 worth of credit in my name. She also had gotten a red convertible Mustang, and I had lawsuits against me as well.
Unbelievable. And the amazing thing is, it can sometimes take you years to clear your record. So, Mari Frank, thanks so much for being with us, giving us some helpful tips. We sure appreciate it.
Okay, thanks.